Good morning.
Welcome back to the channel on another lovely day once again. Today's video, very similar to the last one. Just going to be going through some analysis on my third video on the channel. In that climb there was a lot of slabs. I think it was just slabs only that I climbed that day because I was pretty fatigued from the day before. So this analysis today is going to be all slabs. I'm going to go through the footage similar to the last video, putting some arrows and some circles just to really make it clear as for what techniques that I'm doing and why I'm doing those things, and just have some voiceovers to talk through it all. So very similar to the last video. That's all I can do because my finger at the minute. I'm looking to get back on the walls pretty soon, just doing some lighter climbing and probably film that as well. But for now I'm just holding off, waiting to hear back from the doctor about next steps. But yeah, today's video will just be going through some voiceovers of those slabs. So jumping into the first route here, this was a V5 orange slab, slopey holds. Not really my style, but it was a cool route. So as you can see, I'm side pulling on the first hold with my left hand, and my right foot was pushing in the opposite direction. And my left foot was flagging, and that allowed me to drive my hips into the wall for balance. And I also used that small little foot chip with my right hand just to balance me on the wall as well. So from this position, this is actually a failed attempt, by the way. So when I stand up here, I do it in a very static way, very slowly, and flag out with the right before shifting very statically once again my body weight to the left side. This allows me to then reach across to the left with my foot and eventually get my foot on the hold. Now because I did this statically, you can see my arm is slightly bent, my right arm, and my left foot, the angle that I'm pulling with that, it's not too opposing to my right hand. So my left foot is quite sort of pulling down and my right hand was pulling to the side. That was why I came off the wall. In this successful attempt, you'll see the difference here. So when I stand up, I do it dynamically and I get my body weight further to the left. You can see my arm is straight, which allows me to apply a force further to the side with my left foot and shift my hips further to the left. I can then pull in the desired direction on the hold, and that second last hold that I've just matched, which allows me to stand up and reach the last hold. So that was the key difference there, was going dynamically rather than statically into that move. I'll show the two side by side now as well. You can see on the right I was much more dynamic in that movement. Got my right arm a lot straighter compared to the left side, and then I move more dynamically across once again with my hips a lot further round, which allows me to change the position that I'm pushing with my left foot, providing an opposing force to my hand. Whereas in the left side, on the failed attempt, you can see I'm pushing down with my foot more, which is why I come off the wall. So I didn't have those opposing forces to keep me on there. So that's the reason why the one on the right was successful and the one on the left I failed. Moving on now to this V5, I'm just going to show it first in full speed. Now the key on this one is really the choice of my starting foot. So I had a bit of choice obviously to go with the right foot on the foothold first or the left foot, and it makes a lot more sense to start with the left foot on first. Now I'm going to show this in slow motion in a second with some analysis, yeah, we'll just watch this through for now at full speed. It was quite a simple climb, not too much to it really. Okay, so you can see here I start with my left foot, and the reason why is because I want my right foot on the next hold, the next foothold. So my left foot starts here. A bit more tricky to start that way, would be easier with the right, but it makes the next move a lot easier. I can now get my right foot up and stand onto this hold, and from there my next move is going to be getting my left foot across, so it saves me changing feet on that foothold. From here I stand up and shift my hips into the wall. Hips are all the way in the wall, that's why it's much easier to reach out with the left foot in a very balanced way. And then what I'm going to do from here is try and shift my body weight across, my centre of gravity over that left foot more. Do it quite slowly and in a sort of calculated manner, very slow and precise. And then I'll go a bit more dynamically now to this next hold, just to push myself over the left foot, and then I can reach out for the left hand. And from here it was very simple, just change of feet, or I didn't even need to change my feet, did I? Little change of feet, flag on the wall, and then up with the left hand to match from there. But yeah, the key on that one really was making sure that I started with my left foot on the start hold, the starting foothold. made it much easier to then get the right foot up and do the rest of the climb. Otherwise my body position would have been all over the place. So that was the keys on that one. Next route was this cool little red V6. So you can see it's a sit start. This is it in full speed. Once again, obviously I'll be showing this in slow motion shortly. Once again, quite a straightforward climb, not too many moves on it, but it's a lot about balance and body positioning, and yeah, pistol squatting is very effective on this route. That first move that you just saw was essentially just a pistol squat on quite a small chip, so that strength in my left leg was very key on this one. But we'll go into more details in a second. Now at this point I wasn't too sure how to get to the end hold. I was a little bit uncertain of whether I should be static or dynamic, and then ended up going dynamically in the end. But yeah, we'll talk through all that in a second on here. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm pushing down hard with my right foot, and I'm actually pulling with my left foot to get my hips over my left foothold. That's really important. That pulling with your toe really helps you get your centre of gravity above your toe as well, and pull yourself over that hold. So my hip shift to the left, centre of gravity goes over that foothold, and now all I'm really doing is balancing with my hands, and I'm pushing very hard with my left foot. That's how I'm standing up. That's the pistol squat that I was referring to. What I'm reaching up to with my left hand is a very small crimpy side pull. So this is tilted to the side, it's not down pulling. So because of that, I want to pull it in the most effective direction, which would be to the right. Now in order to pull that to the right, I need to get my body weight across to the right as well. So I plant my right foot on the volume, and you can see my body leaning here, and I go in a dynamic way so I can stand up into the hold. It'd be more difficult to do that statically, much easier to do that dynamically, to get myself into the best pulling position on that hold. I can then get the left foot up, and also the right foot. The right foot chip is quite good here. And the left foot is in a pretty decent position on that volume as well. So the rest of it, like I say, I was figuring out what to do. It was a flash attempt, and then I decided to go dynamically, and I just push off the left foot. And then in this position here, all the weight is through my right foot. Left foot's not really doing anything. Everything is through the right foot just to hold me in place on the wall and match the last hold. Okay, moving on to this V4. Pretty simple route as well. Have slipped off this foothold a couple of times. It's more slippy than it looks, but it's quite a cool move on this, using opposing forces once again. This is quite key. Whenever you're on the wall, you need to think a lot about the angle of holds, what direction they're in, and what direction they're facing is generally the direction that's most efficient to hold them and most efficient to pull them. So on this route here, obviously starting in a pretty standard way, get the left foot up, and I move dynamically across here. I shift my hips back to gain some momentum, and then I drive forwards to do it a bit more dynamically. It just makes it easier for me to stand up on the left foot. So that's why I did it in a slight dynamic way. Now I'm leaning against that handhold, and I'm pushing in the opposing direction with my left foot. So those opposing forces are what are keeping me on the wall balanced. From here, a little tricky change of feet, but I managed to get through that one, and then flag out on the volume. From here, the next hold, which is a little bit lower, just there, the most efficient way to hold these is to use opposing forces once again. So I'm leaning into that dynamically with the right hand on the top hold, and then pushing with the left hand on the lower hold to hold myself onto the wall. From here, simple drop knee, get the hips up and flag out on the right side, and then I can reach up for the last hold. And to match the last hold, it's a very simple heel hook. I'm pulling very hard with my heel to the left into that hold. That's keeping me anchored to the wall and stopping me from swinging out, making the match much easier at the end. Okay, this is V7 now. This is going to be shown in full speed first. Tiny footholds on this one, and they were all, the body positions certainly towards the middle and the end of the route, you're kind of very straight on the wall. You're not very spread out. Normally to find balance, you want to be in a position like that, where either your feet and your hands are both wide, but you'll see here on this route, both my feet and my hands are very narrow. So not a lot of balance at all. That is just due to obviously the way the route's laid out. Very clever set, really cool route. But yeah, we'll talk through in a bit more detail what I'm doing in each of these moves in slow motion, sorry, in a second. But yeah, nice technical climb. The sequence of my feet is very important towards the end, which I'll talk through shortly. So, as you can see, leaning into the left side on the start hold initially. And I want to use these two holds once again in opposing forces. So my left hand is pulling to the left, and my right hand is reaching up to that gaston and pulling to the right. That's what keeps me locked on the wall. And I go with some momentum to get my hips across to the right side. I'm then flagging the right foot for balance on this hold. Keeps me set on there, allowing me to take my right hand off. And I then use this little handhold, this tiny little foothold, sorry, as a handhold, just to keep me balanced and reach up. Same again here. Right hand on that little foothold, just to keep me balanced. And I can really actually apply quite a bit of force with the fingers, just to help pull myself up on this pistol squat. I also pushed off the left foot to jump up to this hold. Now this is where it gets tricky. You're very unsighted of your feet in this position. You can't really see what's going on because of your body positioning. You're so straight on the wall. It's very hard to see down and find where the holds are. So I took my time on this quite a lot. You can see my right foot's on a slightly lower foothold, and then the left foot comes on the one that's slightly higher. Same again here. I'll place my right foot on the hold that's slightly lower down to the right, which leaves room for my left foot on the hold to the left. If I'd have done it the other way around with my right foot on the left foot hold, then I'd be crossing over my feet, which would make it much more awkward to stand up. So right foot's on the foot chip on the right, which you can barely see really. But that allows me to put my left foot on the tiny little foothold right to the left of it, just there. So that positioning is key. Like I mentioned, it's difficult to balance in this position because my body is so straight. There's nothing flagging out to the side. So when reaching for the last hold, it was very helpful to get my right foot up first, which I do now. Right foot comes up, and then I'm pushing in this direction with my foot to pull myself towards the final hold and keep myself balanced on the wall as well. You can see my hips are also very far in, so I don't fall off. And that's how I match the last hold. Okay, this last route now, this took me so many tries. You can see here my right foot flagging on the wall, and then I bring my foot in. That's very key now. For this move here, to stop the swing, I brought my right foot in. If my right foot was out where it ended up there, I'd have swung a lot further round. Keeping it further to the left allowed me to barn door a lot less. So that was really crucial on that move. From there, walk my feet up, and I match on this terrible sloper, which has got barely anything on it because the hold's completely blocked. And then I shift my hips up and left when I come into this side pull with my hand. All the weight's through my left foot. I then get my right foot up onto this hold here. And you can see I'm sinking to the left with my locking out on that side pull with my left arm. I can then get my left foot up and sink my hips to the left, and then I'm pushing hard through my right foot and the left foot to make sure I'm balanced so I can reach over with the right hand and then match the hold as well. So that took me a load of tries, but that is why I was successful in the end from those little key pointers. Okay, so I'm going to end the video there. I hope that was very helpful for you. Yeah, this is going to be most of the content I'm doing for the next few days. Essentially is most likely going to be more voiceovers and analysis, so I do hope this is helpful to a lot of people. Obviously today's one was full of slabs. The coming videos are going to be based on my previous videos, so there'll be some more overhanging routes and some different wall features and technical pointers in the videos that come next. But yeah, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, leave me a comment down below about what you found helpful. Really helps me out a lot. Be sure to subscribe, and as always, most importantly, make sure you grab life by the plums, and I will see you in the next one.